Enrollment in the SUNY system peaked in 2013 at about 460,000 students. And then things hit a long, slow slide, tumbling by almost 100,000 students about a decade later. Then came 2023. Enrollment finally ticked up instead of down. And now it's risen 3 years in a row, bucking the overall national trend of declining college enrollment. In the North Country, the leaders of the increase are community colleges. We explain why on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Pearsall Wealth Management at UBS Wealth Management USA, subsidiary UBS AG, member FINRA SIPC, 1 Broad Street, Glens Falls.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Thursday, December 4th. First up, the future of several North Country hospitals are in danger. That's according to the North Star Health Alliance, which operates the hospitals in Ogdensburg and Carthage. Amy Feiereisel reports.
North Star Health Alliance's CEO Richard Duvall wrote in a Wednesday letter addressed to Governor Kathy Hochul that the group will not be able to make hospital payroll as soon as next week and is, quote, facing imminent closure. Duvall and local lawmakers like Scott Gray say this is because of insufficient financial support from the state, as the Claxton Hepburn Hospital in Ogdensburg has transitioned into 2 separate facilities. That restructuring process has been going on since August of 2022, with the state's involvement. They say the state hasn't paid over $200 million in reimbursements. But a spokesperson for Governor Kathy Hochul says that stalled funding is the result of the North Star Health Alliance failing to provide basic information to, quote, verify their claims or funding requests to the state for taxpayer dollars. They say that includes how state funds have been spent and hospital salary information. Several Republican lawmakers have pounced on the reimbursement delay as a chance to directly attack Governor Hochul. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik accused Hochul of, quote, weaponizing her Department of Health to target, block funding, and close a rural hospital in my district. Stefanik is running for governor against Hochul next year. Governor Hochul's spokesperson fired back. They told NCPR that, quote, these claims are baseless, and that if Stefanik cared about patient care, she shouldn't vote for billions of dollars in cuts to health care access in hospitals. About half a dozen local representatives have called for federal and state investigations into why funds for the North Star Health Alliance have been delayed. The organization says it's facing a fiscal cliff that threatens patients and over 1,700 jobs. Amy Feiereisel, North Country Public Radio.
State health officials say this year's strain of the flu is prevalent across New York now, and they're urging people to get the flu vaccine ahead of the holidays. The latest Department of Health data shows there are nearly 18,000 positive flu cases across New York, and the number of influenza-related hospitalizations nearly doubled last week to 413. The state is requiring healthcare workers who haven't yet gotten the flu vaccine to wear a mask in areas where patients and residents are present. This week is National Influenza Vaccination Week, and health officials say it's not too late to get the shot. Even when the vaccine does not prevent infection, it can help protect against serious complications, including hospitalization and death. The flu vaccine is available to anyone 6 months or older. The historic ferry service that connected Cape Vincent to Wolfe Island in Canada could be coming back. Horns Ferry brought passengers back and forth across the St. Lawrence River for more than 200 years until it shut down last year. WWNY-TV reports that the Jefferson County Legislature will vote next week on whether to hire a consulting firm to put together a sales pitch to bring it back. Cape Vincent is set to take ownership of the launch on the U.S. side. Jefferson County Administrator Ryan Pichet says now's the time for a cross-border initiative to persuade federal, provincial, and state governments to come together to revive the ferry. Enrollment in New York State University system has increased for a 3rd year in a row. In the North Country, SUNY community colleges have seen the biggest gains. Kara Chapman reports.
Enrollment at community colleges across New York is up 5% over last year. At North Country Community College, it's almost double that, at 9.4%.
It's really clearly a good news story, right, for all of SUNY and for the community college sector, certainly, and for North Country Community College.
That's Joe Keegan, president of North Country Community College. NCCC has multiple campuses in Essex and Franklin counties. This fall marked the 6th consecutive semester of increased enrollment there. Overall numbers are 13% higher than they were 5 years ago, the highest jump among the North Country SUNY schools. Keegan says it's not just one thing that made these gains happen. He credits the college's faculty and staff, successful initiatives like an expanded nursing program, and the implementation of more online offerings and student supports. Keegan says increased financial backing from the counties, philanthropic outreach that allowed for more scholarships, and state programs have also helped.
You know, they illustrate what those of us in community college education frequently speak about, that really the work is a community effort, right? It takes all parties working together to help raise the votes of our students and their families.
Clinton Community College in Plattsburgh also posted strong enrollment numbers this fall. The school saw a 9.7% increase over last year and a 10.5% increase compared to 5 years ago. These numbers represent a big reversal for Clinton. After years of declining enrollment, the college had a huge deficit and a warning on its accreditation status a couple years ago. Then in January 2024, officials announced plans to essentially save Clinton by relocating its campus to SUNY Plattsburgh. Classes there officially began this fall. Vice President for Enrollment Management Tom Nesbitt says the move has helped with the numbers.
Just with more engagement, there's more excitement, there's more programming, there's more going on, having access to the facilities at Plattsburgh State, having access to the downtown community in Plattsburgh. It's just an exciting time to be here. So I think that's definitely contributed to helping us out.
Officials credit new state programs for the increased enrollment. For example, a new program to help low-income students graduate supports 150 students at Clinton Community College. It has a retention rate of about 70%. There's also the SUNY Reconnect program the state launched this fall. It helps pay tuition for students ages 25 to 55 who don't have a college degree and major in high-demand fields at community colleges. Only 17 students at Clinton enrolled this semester through SUNY Reconnect. Nesbitt says that's partly because some eligible programs, like nursing, were already full when it launched. But he says Reconnect still drummed up a lot of interest among adult learners generally.
Even though these students may not be in a Reconnect-specific program, we did see a lot of adults coming into other programs at Clinton Community College as a result of seeing a Reconnect ad, coming in, meeting with us, and discovering that they could get enough aid to support them and to give them the opportunity to come back to school.
Over at NCCC, more than 220 students enrolled through SUNY Reconnect. Keegan says the college saw gains in programs like health sciences and chemical dependency counseling.
Again, really linked to regional needs as well as statewide needs as well. So we're hoping that the governor and the legislature will continue it going forward.
The enrollment numbers at the larger SUNY campuses in the North Country tell a different story. Enrollment there is relatively flat compared to last year. At SUNY Potsdam, enrollment is down more than 18% compared to 5 years ago. First-year enrollment is 30% lower. But college officials point to some bright spots. Director of Admissions Terry Francis said in a statement that graduate enrollment has more than doubled over the last 5 years. And, taken together, new undergraduate and graduate student enrollment increased by about 4.3% over last year. Francis said the college is, quote, making real progress in stabilizing our enrollment. Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Mark Corey of Watertown and Evan Veenstra of Gananoque, Ontario. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.